Hello, and welcome to Symbols and Cynicism, a podcast where we talk about all of the things I love, some of the things that I hate, and this wacky adventure that we call life. My name is Bob, I'm your host, and I'm glad you're here today as we talk Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Have something neat with Matt and people that should go inside the bank. Let's get started. Welcome back. I am glad you're here. Happy December. It is December 1st, which means it's officially Christmas season. You can now put up your decorations, listen to Christmas music. Our house is now decorated in my household, and the Christmas music has begun, and it is the most wonderful time of the year, as they say. Meanwhile, we're in episode 20. Our podcast is no longer a teenager. It can almost vote. It can almost taste its first bourbon with Matt. I know 20 isn't exactly a milestone necessarily, but here we are. Didn't know that we would be here, but my gosh, when we started this podcast 20 episodes ago, if you'd have told me I'd be here right now, I'm not sure that I would believe you, but here we are. In the news this week, the Ohio High School Athletic Association has voted to allow NIL deals for high school athletes. For those of you not in the know, NIL stands for name, image, and likeness. That means that high school athletes can now accept money to have their name, their image, or some sort of likeness of them used for commercials. This was a big deal in college not that long ago. Apparently, 48 states now allow this. I didn't know that. I'm just going to say this. The Ohio High School Athletic Association has said that players can be paid for the use of their name, image, and likeness. I'm just going to pause and let you insert your own thoughts right here. Okay, on we go. Shout out to all of my music teacher friends. It is December, and I know what that means for you. It's concerts on performances. It's the start of your basketball band, pep band season. It is Christmas it's also your own home Christmas stuff that is happening. It's all of the things. And I thought there were 3 times in the year that were really, really challenging as an educator. The beginning of school, that first 10 days of school where things are just coming at you in waves all the time. The end of the year, I always felt like that last 3 or 4 weeks, if you're doing recruiting and you have spring concerts and banquets and just all of the things at the end of the year. And then this season, December, I always thought was really challenging because of all of the concerts, because of snow days or delay, because of weather, and the kids are in the Christmas mode, and it's just tough. If you have music teacher friends, please check on them. They are not okay. Got one piece of very cool fan mail this past week. I'm going to read some of it. I'm not going to read all of it, but here's a little bit of it. I'm saying this here because I have nowhere else to say it. I am trying my best to be thankful for everything I have. And they go on to describe some family things that are going on in their life, and not great things. They wrap up. I appreciate the homework on the podcast this week, and I'm going to continue to focus on all of the great things I have in life: a beautiful family, a great career. Thanks for reminding me to focus on the good things in my life. This was a reflection of last week's podcast, which was to be thankful and to be thankful that the dark cloud things, the bad things will be there no matter what. Put those aside for a day and just focus on the things that you have that are good. And when I gave that homework, to be honest with you, I was talking to myself. I'm really glad it impacted somebody else too, because I think it probably impacts a whole lot of people. And, the funny thing here, if I can add some light to the subject, is that originally at the beginning of these episodes, homework was not scripted in the first episode. I just got to the end of it and it just popped into my head. Hey, 27 years as a teacher, what do you do at the end of class? You give homework. And so I just did it. I just gave a homework assignment. I don't even remember what it was. And I did a couple of them. Then I started scripting them in. And after about 5 or 6 episodes, I said to Kathy, my sister, our producer, I don't know about this homework. I think we need to ditch the homework. And she said, really? That's my favorite part of it. And one of the things that people have said to me multiple times over the last 6 months or whatever it's been is like, man, I love the homework. So I hope you did the homework last week. It was to be thankful and for that one day focus just on the good things. The black cloud around your silver lining will be there tomorrow. I used to tell this to kids all the time. When I taught, band was in the middle of the day, right before lunch. And so, they've had 3 periods to have a bad test, a boyfriend or girlfriend break up with them, or just a teacher, get on their case or forget their homework or whatever the case may be, right? We all have moments that by 11 o'clock we've had in our day that aren't the greatest day. And I said, leave that problem at the door. Just come in, sit down. Let's make some great music together. Forget that in the hallway. Leave the burden in the hallway. And then when you leave here, it's going to still be there. Like, don't worry. Like, you're going to leave and go to the hallway, and that bad test or the relationship or whatever the thing is can still be there. But for these 40 whatever minutes, let's sit down and just make music together. And again, I told them that for me too, because I had 3 classes before band. So that's emails and students and homework and kids that forgot their instruments and kids that don't have a pencil or whatever all of the things are, right? So I had to do that too as an educator. You got to walk into every class like the things that happened an hour ago are not these students' problems, were not caused by these students. So, all right, let's move on. On today's episode, a deep dive into episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. We have something neat with Matt and people who should go inside the bank. There's a lot to do, so let's get started. Okay, episode 3. Revenge of the Sith. Quick reminder, we are doing Star Wars in release order. So we did start with the original trilogy. We did that back in season 1 of our podcast. And now we're working our way through the prequels. We've done those. We're now in episode 3, which ends the prequels. This is not story order. If we were doing story order, we would right now need to divert into the Clone Wars animated series. That fills in the gaps between episode 2 and episode 3. Actually, the last part of the final season overlaps into episode 3, but we're not doing that. We are doing today Revenge of the Sith, and we will come back to Clone Wars next season. No, we are not going to do every single episode. There are 133 episodes of the Clone Wars animated series spread across 7 seasons. We'll be doing highlights, sort of select story arcs, summaries, more on that another time. Today, Revenge of the Sith. May 19th, 2005 is the release date. May 16th, 2002 was the episode 2 release date. So we have had a 3-year wait for the finale to this trilogy. In timeline, in movie timeline, it has also been 3 years. That 3-year timeline is filled in by the Clone Wars, and there is overlap. But in summation, Attack of the Clones, episode 2, started the Clone Wars. You remember at the end, Yoda saying,
"Begun. The Clone War has."
That's the beginning. The Clone Wars animated covers the war, And then this movie ends the war and the Republic and the Jedi and so much more. As this movie opens, this gets my vote for best opening of a Star Wars. An epic space battle. We kind of come in over this Star Destroyer. And you're like, oh, look, a Star Destroyer. Because most movies start with a Star Destroyer or some sort of ship, usually a Star Destroyer. But as we pan over and downward towards the planet Coruscant, we see just massive amounts of large ships, small ships. There's laser fire. We are clearly in a space dogfight, which all leads to Obi-Wan and Anakin crash landing on a ship, which is a ship controlled by General Grievous. They're on their way to rescue Chancellor Palpatine, who has been kidnapped by the Separatists. As Obi-Wan crashes, the cockpit flies open as the ship is coming to sliding to a halt. He flips out of the cockpit, ignites his saber mid-air, and immediately starts to take out droids. Anakin jumps out, starts the thing. They smash through these droids. Such a cool beginning, and it really sets the tone for all of the epic battles and duels that we're going to see in this movie. And if you've watched Clone Wars animated, you've seen this sort of thing a lot. On movie form, we have not. This is the first kind of time we've seen this something that's just so smooth and epic. This opening scene of each movie tends to reflect the overall vibe of the movie itself. Episode 1, that opening scene goes through the Trade Federation blockade, and then most of the movie is about that blockade and the resolution on Naboo. Episode 2 is a gentle flight into Coruscant, and they just come into this landing, and then, most of that is about the struggle on Coruscant between Jedi and Senate, etc. So the fact that this one opens with an incredible space battle sort of sets that tone like, okay, this is it. Like, this is going to be a really heavy movie from a battle duel standpoint. Note here Anakin's wardrobe. In episode 1, he wore he's a little boy, very light tan, light browns, very light colors. Episode 2, brown, dark brown, earth tones, but deep, dark earth tones. And now, black. Probably this is a not so subtle nod to where we are headed in the story. He's gone from the light side as a child, and now he's dressed all in black. So we're here to rescue the Chancellor that has been kidnapped by the Separatists. You remember the Separatists, they're the ones that literally separated from the Republic, and they're kind of going off and doing their own thing, and they have kidnapped the Chancellor. Dooku is a Sith Lord that orchestrated this, and he is now a Sith Lord for sure. There was some question back in the last movie, like, well, is he really, all the way evil? Yep, he is. And Obi-Wan, as Dooku comes into the room, Obi-Wan says,
Chancellor Palpatine, Sith Lords are our specialty.
Really? Really? They're your specialty? Prove that, please, Obi-Wan, because all we've sort of really seen is you getting your butt kicked by Sith Lords. And sure enough, 10 seconds later, Obi-Wan is laying unconscious under a bridge, having been taken out by Dooku. Now, don't worry, he's not dead. Anakin overpowers Dooku, chops off his hands, and ultimately kills him at the request of the Chancellor. He's too dangerous to be left alive. He should not stand trial. Just kill him. They escape, but then ultimately they're captured again by General Grievous. Grievous is a mostly robot cyborg general of the Separatist army. With Dooku out of the way, Grievous is now the leader of the Separatist army. Interesting exchange here between Grievous and Anakin.
Anakin Skywalker, I was expecting someone with your reputation to be a little older.
General Grievous, you're shorter than I expected.
This one exchange shaped all of the animated series because Anakin and Grievous could never meet face to face. Otherwise, they would know how old the other one is and how short or tall the other one is. So while Grievous is an active, constant player in the Clone Wars animated series, he never meets Anakin face to face. So they battle, and Grievous runs like he always does. That is very typical General Grievous behavior. Once we crash land and recover, we get to one of the main themes of both this movie and the last one, the Jedi and politics being intertwined. The Jedi know they should be involved, but they also know they're not supposed to be involved. And it has been 3 years since the problem began, and they still have not figured out a solution. Should we get involved or should we stay out of it? And you remember at the end of episode 2, it kind of bit them in the butt because then they were backed into a corner and they had to act as they acted. Well, now they spent the last 3 years firmly entrenched in war as generals and unable to deal with should we be in politics or not. We also here see Padme for the first time. Hair looking quite Leia-like. Don't you think? I guess the apple does not fall far from the tree. Spoiler alert. They have been married, Padme and Anakin, since the end of episode 2. That's 3 years. They're in their 3rd year of marriage. The honeymoon is over. And she reveals to Anakin now that she is pregnant. And if you wonder how Anakin can get her pregnant when he has spent the last 3 years as a general in a war, stationed and moved all over the galaxy, watch the animated series. It tells us this. Side quest. The animated Clone Wars series is the best Star Wars. It is, period. There is no question. It is my favorite. It is the most complex. It is the longest. And you are, in my opinion, not a true Star Wars fan if you haven't watched the Clone Wars animated series. I've watched it 3 times. Some of the little story arcs I've watched more. So go watch it. So anyway, they're married. She's pregnant. This is a lot of problems. Dialogue alert here. Oh, I'm so in love with you. No, I love you more. This dialogue is terrible. I don't care that they're young and it is their first real relationship and that they're essentially just kids. Look, he is a Jedi Knight. She is a galactic senator. They've been married for 3 years. And the best dialogue they can come up with is, no, it is because I am so in love with you. Terrible, awful, just awful. Why is it hidden? We've mentioned it before. I don't think we've gotten real in depth with this. Anakin is living in forbidden love and attachment. And let's be clear, relationships are not forbidden. Romance is not forbidden. Jedi are not required to be celibate. Obi-Wan has a relationship with Duchess Satine. Wait, what? Hold on, wait, you say. Obi-Wan has a relationship? Who is Duchess Satine? Look, how many times do I have to tell you to watch the animated series? Jedi of the old High Republic era have romantic encounters with non-Jedi and with Jedi. Read the books. It's all over the High Republic books. Now, there's nothing salacious. There's nothing graphic. Okay, it's not that, but it definitely indicates that Jedi have romantic encounters. Here's the thing. It is not the romance that is forbidden. Romance is not the problem. It's the attachment that sometimes grows out of the romance. Jedi are always supposed to keep their priorities in balance. The main priority should always be the Jedi Order. When push comes to shove, you pick the Jedi. Period. Bros before, well, Jedi first. If you have a romantic encounter and can still make the right choice, that is not a problem because you're not attached. But when you fall in love and become attached with marriage and kids, then you tend to make the poor decision for the romantic interest instead of the Jedi. We see this at the end of episode 2, before they're even married. Anakin wants to save Padme instead of going after Dooku. And Obi-Wan says, remember your priorities. The problem with Obi-Wan and Duchess Satine romance is that Obi-Wan did keep his priorities in order and chose the Jedi over Satine, and she got upset about it. Okay, so Anakin's romance is not the problem. But anyone who has been married and has kids knows that your priorities change. They do, period. When you pledge your life to someone and then bring another life into this world, priorities change. Anakin is attached. That is the problem. Anakin also was attached to his mother. In episode 1, they say that he cannot begin the training because he is too old. That's not just an age thing. It's because older children are attached to their parents and have trouble separating. Most Jedi are taken into the order as infants or toddlers. There's less attachment. Anakin was attached, and when his mother was in trouble, what does he do? He goes and does a murder. If Anakin had been 1, he wouldn't even know his mother, so he wouldn't know that she was in trouble, and he wouldn't feel the need to do an entire genocide. And now he's attached to Padme, having dreams about her death, but I'm sure that'll be fine. By the way, this attachment issue continues with Vader. He doesn't kill Obi-Wan when he gets the chance in the Obi-Wan show. He goes kind of easy on Luke, giving him chance after chance to turn to the dark side instead of just killing him and ending the problem. That's because Luke is the last living reminder of Padme, as far as Vader knows at that time. Anakin goes to Yoda about these dreams he's having. He's having dreams of Padme dying in childbirth. He's very concerned, so he goes to Yoda and only gives Yoda half-truths along the way. First rule of therapy, be 100% honest with your therapist. They can't help you if you aren't honest with them. The advice back to Anakin is also sort of terrible. Train yourself to let go of everything you fear to lose. Okay, he's talking about attachment. He's saying to Anakin, don't be attached to people. If you fear to lose something, that probably means you're attached to it. But he doesn't tell him how to train himself. He just says to train yourself. That's like someone telling me, go train yourself to run a 20-minute 5K, but not telling me how, not giving me any techniques, not giving me any training schedules, not giving me any nutrition tips. It just go run fast. Figure out how to run fast. No, you have to tell Anna, train yourself. Here's how. Let's work through this together. Let me give you techniques. He doesn't do that. He just says, train yourself to let go. Anakin follows this encounter with a visit to Palpatine, where Palpatine makes him promises and tells him how great he is. This dichotomy continues throughout the movie. The Jedi tell him he's not good enough to be a master. Palpatine says, I can't believe they didn't make you a master. You're great. The Jedi don't trust him to go on a mission, and Palpatine says, I would trust you to do the mission. The Jedi message is, you're broken. You're not good enough. Keep working on yourself. And Palpatine's message is, you're wonderful. You're great, Anakin. It's giving real after-school movie jock trying to get the good girl to be the bad girl sort of vibes. We continue into some further political entanglement with the Jedi, and the Jedi kind of realize something here. Uh-oh, did we misread the prophecy? We are all of these years into Anakin's warning signs, and just now you're realizing
A prophecy that misread could have been.
Bro, again, 10,000 Jedi plus Padawans and younglings versus 2 Sith, and you believe that the way to bring balance is to add a powerful Force user to the Jedi side? Okay, brilliant. But whatever, that's the story, I guess, right? Pivotal moment here in a very moist, weird opera house. Palpatine, being once again the king of spin, trying to talk Anakin out of thinking that the Jedi are great. Anakin doesn't fall for it. Palpatine says the Jedi and Sith are basically the same. But Anakin doesn't bite. He disputes Palpatine by showing the difference from his side. The Sith are arrogant and aggressive. The Jedi are selfless, and they only care about others. And you can see it in Palpatine's face. Whoops, that's the wrong way to approach this. Okay, let me try something else. So Palpatine tries something else. He says,
Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
No.
I thought not. It's not a story the Jedi would tell you.
and that is the hook in the fish's mouth. Anakin is interested. Darth Plagueis the Wise could create life. And then he taught his apprentice how to do it. His apprentice could create life. Quick review, Anakin was not born through typical male-female inception. He was created. It was a virgin birth. How? Well, here's how, ladies and gentlemen. Anakin was created by a Sith Lord who could create life out of nothing and who could stop those that he loved from dying. Main point of the story is Palpatine can help Anakin save Padme. Come to the dark side. Get in the van. We have candy. Don't worry. No one will find out. This is classic grooming. Palpatine being the king of spin. But now back at the Jedi Clubhouse, there have been some new developments. We found Grievous. He's on Utapau, and Obi-Wan will go take care of that. Ready? Break. One more conversation with Obi-Wan and Anakin before Obi-Wan leaves, and this is where Obi-Wan, for the last time, will say to Anakin, "May the Force be with you," as his friend. This is it. The next time they meet, they will be enemies. Obi-Wan goes to kill Grievous. We get the classic line.
Hello there.
Love it. It's great. He kills Grievous. Anakin reports back to Palpatine, and here it is. Palpatine admits he's a Sith. Quick review, Palpatine was a Sith all along. The guy who snuck his way into being Chancellor position by sweet-talking Padme with an assist from Jar Jar Binks, Sith. The guy who will, quote, watch the career of Anakin very closely, end quote, Sith. The guy who encouraged Anakin to kill Dooku, Sith. And so much more. He was playing both sides at the same time. How did he get the intel for the Republic? Because he was the Sith Lord making the moves, orchestrating it from the backside in the first place. Palpatine was Sidious all along. Freaking genius. King of spin, playing both sides against the other. He started a war against himself and then played both sides of the war. All to get Anakin to fall to have a new apprentice. Anakin does the right thing. He goes and tells Mace, I found a Sith Lord. Palpatine is a Sith Lord. He's Sidious. He's the one we've been looking for. Mace goes to take care of it, walks into Sidious's office with 3 other Jedi, and I looked at the timeline. There is 1 hour and 10 minutes left in this movie. We're at the final battle, and there's an hour left to have all this stuff go down. So strap in. Mace and Sidious duel. Anakin saves Sidious's. Mace had him cornered. Mace was done. Anakin steps in. He was conflicted about who to choose. Do I choose my friend Sidious? Do I choose the Master Jedi? What do I do? But Sidious can save Padme. The grooming worked. The attachment was the problem. When Anakin had to choose my wife and the mother of my child, or the order that I've pledged my allegiance to, he chose the attachment. And that is why we should not have attachments as Jedi. All Mace has told him is, you're not good enough. We don't like that you're on the council. We're not making you the rank of master. Yoda's been telling him, go work on yourself. Don't have these attachments. What's Sidious been telling him? That he's good, that he's wonderful, that I trust you, I'm your friend, I can help you. With Mace out of the way, Palpatine now crowns Anakin as Darth Vader. Remember, Sith always get a new name upon their Sith rebirth, so now he is officially Darth Vader and Anakin is dead. What's one of the first things that Sidious tells him? And now we together can learn how to save Padme. Hold up, old man. I thought you already knew how to save Padme. And there's the problem with propaganda. Sure, the Jedi didn't tell him things that made him feel good, but they told him the truth. He was broken. He needed to work on himself. He needed to improve as a Jedi. He wasn't ready to be on the council. All hard things to hear, but truthful things. Palpatine was making him feel good about himself. You're wonderful. You're good. I trust you. You're the best Jedi. You're the greatest. You're the awesomest. But they were lies. This is the classic, better to receive a slap from a friend than a kiss from your enemy. You'd rather have your best friend tell you, whoa, that sweater does not look great on you, because you trust your friend, rather than your enemy say, hey, I really like that sweater on you, but then go snickering at you behind your back. You'd rather have a teacher tell you your embouchure is not great. Let's fix your embouchure. You don't march in step. You need to get your shoulder square to the sideline, but it's the truth, rather than somebody say, hey, you guys, you look great, but you don't. I just told my kids this all the time. I used to use this slap from a friend, kiss from an enemy line all the time. What would you rather? Would you rather me being a little harsh with you on a Monday and a Tuesday? Or would you rather a judge being harsh with you on a Saturday night? They pick me every time because I'm their friend. They can trust me. They know. Mentor of mine, Mr. Richard Sherrick, was band director at Parkway for 380,000 years, I think. One of the very first things he taught me when I became a young teacher, he said, never tell a kid good job unless it actually is a good job. You can say other things. You can say lots of improvement. You can say, I am proud of you. You can say, you worked really hard on that without telling them, yes, done, green check mark. Anyway, the Jedi were the slap from a friend. Palpatine, Sidious was the kiss from the enemy. The kiss worked. Vader's in. So Vader's first mission is to go wipe out the Jedi Temple, all of it, including the younglings. That's disgusting. That's a tough scene to watch. Meanwhile, we've executed Order 66. And we don't know this from the movie, but the Kaminoans, who created the clones, embedded every clone with what's called an inhibitor chip. This chip is designed as a failsafe in case the clones might decide to go rogue and mutiny during the war. This chip made them 100% loyal to the commands within the power structure of the military. It also had an embedded command called Order 66, which was a code that triggered a new behavior, and that behavior is to kill all of the Jedi because the Jedi have committed treason. So Sidious enacts Order 66, the inhibitor chip clicks in, we know what Order 66 is, and the clones turn on and begin killing all of the Jedi. And they think they kill Obi-Wan. All of the Jedi are just going down one right after the other. It's really painful to watch. But wait, you say, if it's not in the movie, how do we know about the inhibitor chip? Anyone know the answer to this question? Anyone? Yes, that is correct. The animated series tells us about the inhibitor chip. But wait, how could the clones have been embedded with a chip that contained an order called Order 66 to kill Jedi when it was the Jedi that ordered the clones in the first place? Great question. The answer is sort of, you gotta go a little deep here, because when Master Sifo-Dyas ordered the clones, remember, he was a Jedi, ordered the clones, he did it in secret. The Jedi didn't know it. He did it on behalf of the Republic, and then was murdered by Count Dooku before anybody could find out that he did it. Later, Chancellor Palpatine ask for the command and the program to be embedded into the clones without the Jedi knowing, because at the time, the Jedi didn't even know there was clones. Anakin wipes out all of the Jedi, and now he is to go to Mustafar to kill the Separatists. So yes, the Separatists that Sidious had start the war in the first place are now the very people that he has Vader go to kill. This is him tying up the loose ends. He's already played one side against the other, and now he's wiping out the loose ends from the Separatists, so he is the only one to be in charge. Anakin flies in to Mustafar, gets off the ship. R2 starts to follow, and Anakin says, R2, stay with the ship. And that friendship officially ends. What started when Anakin was a boy on Padme's ship on the way to Tatooine is now over. R2 has been by Anakin's side for countless battles throughout the Clone Wars. They saved each other countless times. R2 has always been the loyal droid. And now Anakin says, stay with the ship. This line is a bit of a plant as a callback for in The Empire Strikes Back when Luke tells R2 to stay with the ship, and R2 does not listen. I can just hear him thinking at that point, wait, the last time my master said that, Vader came back and I lost my best friend forever. So Palpatine has more spin here for the Senate. Most of the senators cheer for the formation of what Palpatine refers to as
The Republic will be reorganized into the first galactic empire for a safe and secure society.
the First Galactic Empire. He is reforming the government from a galactic republic into an empire because he is the emperor now, Emperor Palpatine, Darth Sidious. And as the crowd cheers, they pan to Padme, and she says,
So this is how liberty dies. With thunderous applause.
so this is how liberty dies, with thunderous applause. And here's what I don't get about Star Wars. How can some dialogue be so freaking bad? Oh, I love you because you're beautiful because I love you. And sand, I hate sand. I mean, there's so much bad dialogue, and then some of it can be so freaking good. This is how liberty dies, with thunderous applause. That's a reflection of real history, folks. It's one of my favorite Star Wars lines, and what a great way to phrase it. Also here, Yoda gives Obi-Wan the explanation that Obi-Wan will later use with Luke. Obi-Wan is charged with going to kill Anakin, and he says, I can't do it. He's my Padawan. He's my friend. I'm his master. We've lived through the war together, sort of a thing. And Yoda says, Anakin no longer exists. He has been consumed by Darth Vader. You know, from a certain point of view. Yoda goes to duel Sidious. That does not go well. Obi-Wan goes to duel Anakin. That does go well for Obi-Wan. Blah, 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 blah. Yoda admits failure and decides on exile. Vader awakes as Vader in one of my favorite moments I have ever witnessed in a theater. When they put on his helmet, the music gets super quiet and dark, and then you hear Vader breathe for the first time through his respirator mask. Oh my gosh, chills. When I saw this in the theater the first time, the place went absolutely nuts. It was 2005. I had been waiting 25 years to see how Vader actually becomes Vader. And here it is, his first respirator breath. We get a wrap up of the movie and a setup of the next trilogy. We get the exile and the twins and the stuff, and the Obi-Wan's going to take whatever. We also get a shot of the Death Star being built, and it's clearly the Death Star, skeleton-ish. Keep in mind, this is now 19 years before the events of A New Hope. That means it's going to take them almost 2 decades to complete this Death Star. How long has it been going on already? A long time. There's a lot of it built. The basic skeleton of the structure is completed. And roll credits. Okay, summary. I began earlier in this season by asking the question, do the prequels suck? Well, here's my answer. No. No, they do not suck. In my opinion, they do not suck. Some of the dialogue? Yeah, that sucks. The way they present Anakin and Padme's relationship, especially in episode 2, yes, that sucks. The pod race totally, epically sucks. The total prequel package does not suck, in my opinion. We get the downfall of Anakin. We get the reveal of Sidious. We get some pretty cool politics and fascism discussion. We get some sweet lightsaber duels. Without the prequels, we would never see Yoda with a lightsaber on the big screen. We would never see Samuel mother-frickin' Jackson as a Jedi. We would never know why the stormtroopers wear white. The CGI is cool, and yes, maybe a little overdone, but it was 2000 after all, so we'll give them a pass on that. We were playing with the new cool toys, so give you a pass on that. Look, it's Star Wars. Say it with me. Star Wars is like pizza, and even bad pizza is still better than most other food. I like the prequels a lot. I love Star Wars. Go watch Clone Wars from the beginning, the animated series, and start preparing for the next season of this podcast because there's a lot to watch. Hey, happy birthday, Matt.
Thanks. Happy birthday.
Yeah, no, it's not my birthday. It's
Well, okay. To me.
my birthday, your birthday? Somebody's birthday.
I think it's my birthday.
Okay.
As far as I know.
Well, welcome back. We've got our bourbon with us. What are we drinking today?
This is the Penelope Architect, which is a series from Penelope. I know.
Wow.
Overwhelming, isn't it?
Should I be taking notes?
Oh, no. Apparently I've had too much Penelope. No, there's that particular distillery has several different installations to this series. This is the first part of the series. It's kind of like Star Wars, you know how it kind of breaks it up into.
So this is episode 1.
Yeah.
Was it episode 4, and then they went back to 1, or did they start with 1 and then?
No, they actually did it, in the correct numerical.
They actually know how to count.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Exactly. Yep. It's good. I like it.
Yeah.
It's pretty smooth. It's 104 proof. So I would not necessarily say this is.
It's not a beginner.
It's not a beginner bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
Could be if you never wanted to like bourbon again, I guess.
Right.
But it's good. But this is also one of those that I think we talked about earlier. This does not go through the chill filtration process.
Oh.
So it has all of the goodies from the barrel.
All the stuff is in there.
Straight from the pour.
Okay. So
it's a little bit of a caramel flavoring. You can really taste the oak without that filtration.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of a spice, but it goes down pretty smooth.
Penelope.
Penelope.
I don't think I've seen that. It's not a label I've seen. Is it available at places and I've just been overlooking it, or is it sort of a more rare is not the word, but
you can get it at Meijer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I get it at Meijer. It's in the $60 to $70 range, so it's not necessarily the go out and restock your shelf every time bottle.
That's probably why I've never seen it, because that's a little above my normal price range.
Could be.
Well, while we sip here a little bit, we haven't talked to you since BOA, not on the podcast anyway. We did the Weber Grill thing, and then the next day, well, you were there all 3 days with me.
I was
at the booth. watching bands. We kind of took turns and did a bunch of stuff. That was your first Grand Nationals. We mentioned that on the podcast last week. What are some thoughts? What do you think about the bands, the atmosphere, the booth, the whole, just what do you...
You know, I have gone to, I don't know that I have the specific number of DCI finals that I've been to. Probably, I would say I've probably been to at least 8 or 10, or at least DCI events. And I've got to say, I think Grand Nationals far surpasses anything that DCI could provide. And not necessarily from like just a pure entertainment spectacle standpoint, but I felt like each day, like, you know, we could hang out in the booth,
Right.
and then I could go in and watch, you know, a couple bands,
Right.
come back. You could go in and watch a couple bands. You could sit wherever you wanted, so you could see different shows from different angles. Going from prelims to semis, you can watch the same show from different angles. I thought that was a really cool experience. What I noticed personally for me is that, you know, the older I get, the more I notice that I'm willing to be excited and proud of kids for their accomplishments, you know, because I was a band kid.
Right.
And when you're 20, like, you look at it and like, oh yeah, that's great. But, you know, you did it 6 years ago.
Yep.
Whereas now I see what these kids are doing and I think, wow, that's pretty incredible. So it was really easy for me to be proud of all of their accomplishments. And that, I think it was semis. I went down, I was on the 50-yard line about 5 rows up to watch Flower Mound. And what stuck out to me, sort of in the same regard, is that there were a bunch of kids from other bands sitting around me. Well, they had been to enough, you know, super regionals and other events with Flower Mound that they had started making friends with those kids. So they all went down and sat in the front row, and they were hyping up kids in Flower Mound.
Yeah.
And so I think it's cool that it's an activity that I'm not saying that doesn't happen in DCI, because, you know, Crown sees the Blue Coats and a bunch of events on the East Coast.
Well,
they know each other, but it was cool to see all of the interaction over the couple days that we were there.
When I was at DCI finals, the one time was when Crown won with EMC equals MC squared.
You're welcome.
And you got me those tickets. That's right. And when they were announced as the champion, the Blue Devils were the first kids in congratulating, high-fiving and hugging, because they were happy for those kids that they won their first. And there's those same things when they break ranks after retreat. You see all the, they're just congratulating each other, and everybody's, it's hard to remember that you're the second, third, sixth place band. Oh man, we're only sixth. Yeah. Only sixth in the country.
Yeah.
Not too shabby.
Yeah.
So you had some favorite bands that you saw. What were some of your favorites? Do you remember?
My favorite was Morton. And it was all the whole show was basically Welcome to the Black Parade and Cannon and D mixed together. And it was one of those shows. The first time I watched it in prelims, I didn't know who they were. I had no perception of what they were gonna be.
Right.
I went in, sat down, and watched it. And honestly, when they were done, I almost stood up and said, "Do it again."
Right.
Like, I wanted to grab the little YouTube play slider and run it back to the beginning and watch it all over again.
Redo.
And then right after them was South Jones High School, and they did their show
Chill.
Was
it Chill? Yeah.
Chill. And that was another one of those shows that I absolutely loved.
And South Jones they did not make finals, but they got to perform on finals night because they were a class champion. So they got to perform exhibition on Saturday night. And I love, especially this happens a lot in prelims, like you mentioned with Morton, who did make semifinals. So they got to perform on Saturday, but you go in and you watch the Avons and the Flower Mounds and the Caramels, and like you walk in and sit down knowing this will be good. It's the Mortons and the South Joneses that are bands. I had never heard of those groups, but you just go in, hey, I'm just going to go watch a couple of bands, and you walk out of there with your favorite show of the year.
Yeah.
That would not have been throughout the week. There were a couple times I said to you, hey, you should go watch next couple of bands. They're really good. That would not have been one that I would have suggested you go watch just because I didn't know them.
Right.
You discovered that, came out and said, man, you got to try to check out this band. This is like an awesome show. So yeah, would you go again, huh?
Oh, definitely.
Grand Nationals.
Definitely.
Okay. All right. Hey, how about some Thanksgiving? Do you know anything about Thanksgiving?
I mean,
a few
I
things.
know that there's a good meal that happens.
From our perspective today, when we were recording this, Thanksgiving is still a few days away. The people listening, it was last week. This won't post till next week, but let's talk about Thanksgiving anyway. Do some quick hitters here. Turkey or ham?
Turkey.
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 Okay. White or dark meat?
White.
White meat. Gravy? No gravy?
Yeah, great. Yeah. Maybe not necessarily on the turkey, but definitely on the mashed potatoes.
Okay, definitely on the mashed potatoes. Favorite side or a couple of favorite sides?
I'm going to go ahead and consider this a side because it could also be a dessert, but it would have to be Mama's sweet potato casserole, which takes like 8 sticks of butter.
17 pounds of brown sugar.
Probably at least. And then topped with some marshmallow cream. So it's technically a side, but diabetically, it's probably considered a dessert.
All right.
If diabetically is a word.
Sweet potato casserole.
Are deviled eggs an appetizer or a side?
I consider them a side.
I mean, I would consider them 3 courses of a 3-course meal, personally.
This is going to blow your mind. I was challenged recently on whether they're even Thanksgiving food. I know.
This silence is saying something, okay?
Yeah, if only this was video. And my response was, why is it not Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving, Christmas, 4th of July, the 22nd of August, a random Tuesday in April. Like, what?
You know, it's like cake. The day that you start living life is the day that you realize you don't need a birthday to have a cake.
Yeah.
Like, we have free will. We can go to Chief tonight and buy a cake and have cake.
You're an adult. You can have cake anytime you want.
I can go have deviled eggs whenever I want.
Yeah. I got to tell you, though, I'm 51 years old. I still just don't have cake. I just don't go buy a cake. I feel guilty. I feel guilty going just like to Taco Bell just to get, a Crunchwrap Supreme or something. I just like I should ask my mommy whether I can go to Taco Bell for lunch or something.
That sounds like a you problem.
It is. My therapist and I are working through it a little bit. So
you know what would help, though?
What would help?
Deviled eggs.
Some deviled eggs. So you like deviled egg? That's my favorite side. Also, we share that love. This is why we do not eat holiday meals together. You have yours at your house, and I have my deviled eggs at my house. It all works out for the best. And then, what about favorite dessert?
I would have to say probably pumpkin pie. And pumpkin pie, I don't necessarily need the whipped cream on top. Not necessarily. I mean, it's good. I'm not going to deny a piece that doesn't have it.
Sure.
But what I love about pumpkin pie is its versatility, in the fact that you can eat it with a fork, or you can pick it up like a slice of pizza and shove it in your face.
I'm not a pumpkin pie fan. I do like pumpkin roll. Love pumpkin roll.
Or burrito.
And people make fun of me. Yes, people make fun of me. My wife makes fun of me all the time because I don't slice. Now, if if people are eating, I don't do that. I will slice it. But when my sister will make them, she'll bring a couple and leave some at the house here. And so then I eat it like a Subway sub. I mean, you just peel that thing back and start eating. I mean, slice it. That's doing nothing but dirtying utensils and plates. Why are we?
There was, several years ago at the Harvest Happenings out at the fairgrounds, there was actually a food trailer that was all, pumpkin roll, but it was all different styles of rolls where you had like blueberry, cherry, chocolates. Oh, that kryptonite, man.
Good stuff. Good stuff. What about favorite Thanksgiving traditions? You got parade, football, turkey trot, food itself, etc. What do you got? Any favorite traditions or something different?
We don't necessarily have a lot of Thanksgiving traditions. We kind of store all of that up for Christmas. Definitely the parade. We'll watch the parade. For both Thanksgiving and Christmas, we forever and always have pecan rolls for breakfast. That was a recipe that Grandma always made. And when she passed, I took it upon myself to perfect that recipe. Not to brag, but I have. So the pecan rolls they'll continue on.
And I know for you, Thanksgiving is just a pit stop between November Christmas and December Christmas. So you've already listened to every single Christmas song in the world, and you've got the house decorated. And right now you're wearing a Santa suit. So no, he's not wearing a Santa suit, but wouldn't have shocked me if he had.
In our house, though, Santa likes double oaked and Scotcheroos.
I'm all in favor of double oaked and Scotcheroos. Hey, quick reminder to always drink responsibly. And if you're under 21, don't drink at all. It'll wait for you. Bourbon is not your speed anyway. This has been fun. We're going to meet again in a couple weeks. Want to prepare you. We're going to discuss your top 5 favorite Christmas songs and your 1 least favorite Christmas song. So start thinking about that over the next couple of weeks. And when we get to our Christmas top 10 episode, we'll discuss some Christmas music.
I'm on it. I've already got the list.
Good. Have a good couple of weeks. And as always, happy birthday, Matt.
No, breathe. Find your happy place.
People who should go inside the bank. I use the bank drive-thru a lot, weekly at least. My employer provides me with a physical check each week, no direct deposit. And I can't use the ATM at my bank because the ATM at my bank is kind of a piece of crap. It does that one where they have to like scan the check. So there's like, you don't put in the amount. It just like takes it in and reads it and goes, oh, the check is for this amount, except that never actually works for any check I've ever used. Always rejects it. So I have to go to talk to the person at the drive-thru. Once in a while, the person in front of me must be doing like 7 transactions, or they're like opening an IRA, or like doing their taxes, or whatever. I don't know what they're doing, but it takes forever. Go inside. Inside is for complicated things. Drive-thru is for easy things. Inside, complicated. Outside, easy. The bank will be happy to open your 5 new savings accounts for all of your little grandchildren. The drive-thru is for quick transactions. Deposit a check, make a withdrawal, something fast. And the worst is by the time you realize that they've had 45 minutes worth of transactions, you're boxed in by others in the other line, and now you're committed and you just have to sit and wait. Do everyone a favor. If you have more than 2 minutes of things, go inside. And if you're not capable of getting out of your car and going inside because of some limitation that you have, find a friend. Drive through the bank and say, excuse me, I need help. Can I pull around and you come to my car and help me? I'm sure they will. Don't clog up the line with transaction after transaction. Drive-thrus are for the quick stops. I feel better. You feel better? I feel better. Homework for the week. Watch your favorite Christmas movie and text the show with what you're watching. What's your favorite Christmas movie? What's your favorite Christmas song? Text your thoughts into the show. In a couple episodes, we've got a top 10, bottom 2, all things Christmas, and we would love to include your thoughts on the favorite and least favorite of the Christmas season. Movies, music, sweet treats. What's on your list? Use that link in the description to tell us what you think. Okay, that's the show. Make sure you leave a rating, drop a comment, send a message on the app of your choice, tell a friend to listen to the show. You can text the show with the link at the bottom of the description. You can check out our merch store at themarchingarts.com/RHS. We hope you'll join us next time for an interview with OMEA Executive Director Jay Wardeska. Reverse seared steak is on the grill, and the Star Wars Christmas special. Thanks for joining me today. The theme music is Lollipop, written by me, copyright RHS Music. Show logo was designed by John Suh, and the show is produced by my sister, Kathy. I hope you'll join us next time for more reflections and rantings on symbols and cynicism.